1990 in a report by Goodrich. 21 years later, the population is at the same approximate number as it was in 1990 and has been stable. Before hunting a bear population that has a very low to zero growth rate, there is definitely a need for further study by independent biologists on the size, health, and population structure. Our bear population is so small that the biologists have serious questions as to whether it has any resistance to inbreeding as well as other uncontrollable events that could wipe out most of the entire population. The research on this population has not been done, and without baseline information, a hunt should not be continued. On page 29 of the 2004 year report, it states, NDOW does not have a specific policy for the management of black bears.
15 seconds. A
management policy with sound scientific has not been established, yet they have proceeded with a hunt. This information cannot be dismissed or ignored.
Thank you. I see you have it in writing. If you like, you can submit the rest of it, and I'm sure that somebody's going to pick up where you left off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hal Taylor. And just so everybody knows, I'm giving them in the order they were presented to me. I just stacked them on the bottom and gave them in.
Great. Hal Taylor. Tom Pepes has to leave about noon, so I'm going to Tom take my slot, and I'll take Tom's slot later.
Okay, that's fine.
Good morning, Commission. I'm a lifelong Nevada resident, grew up in the Ely area, and have been an avid sportsman for my entire life. Lived in Nevada all my life, which is 52 years, except for a brief period to be educated outside the state. You know, I think the Commission is moving really quickly on this bear hunt, and as a person who's hunted deer, antelope when I've gotten a tag, all kinds of birds in this state, I think there are a lot of sportsmen, a lot of native Nevadans, such as myself, who are squarely against this bear hunt. You know, I think the statistics presented by the department need further analysis. I mean, what's the rush of a permanent regulation? The public, it seems like there's overwhelming public outcry against this bear hunt. And when you have the public crying out as loud as they're crying out in this hunt, I think you guys need to proceed carefully. And I'm kind of in line with the prior speaker. I think the study that's going to be available on the department's website, I guess, tomorrow, needs a further time of public comment. I think the public needs to be able to have access to that information, and maybe even competing biologists, an independent biologist, take a look at that, maybe at state expense. I see no need to rush into a permanent regulation, especially when you have such public outcry. The public, you guys are the voice of the public. You're the voice of the sportsmen. And you know the opposition, both in the north and south part of the states and in the rural areas, Ely and Elko. There's people like me who are solidly against this bear hunt. The various cabs have voiced their opinions, and they've indicated they've gotten letters on both sides of the issue. And hunting bears, it's just, I don't think it's in Nevada's best interest. It's not, hunting bears with dogs is just an issue that strikes to the core of a lot of people. And I would urge the Commission to proceed carefully, look at everything, and really look at public comment. And I think if you did allow further public comment, maybe the opposition would subside a little bit.
Thank you.
Tim Miller.
I'm Tim Miller, and I'm from Reno, and I am in opposition to the bear hunt. I'd like to make several points. I'm sure more people will make some of the same points than already
We
have.
can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, several points I'd like to make. One is opposition to the bear hunt in the areas where many of the bear are hunted in the Lake Tahoe Basin and also elsewhere, but primarily in the Lake Tahoe Basin, are against this hunt. People that live in those areas. In Pine Village voted against the hunt. And the Washoe County Advisory Board also voted against making the bear hunt permanent before they realized which way the winds were blowing politically and voted for it subsequently. Also, as has been mentioned already, there have been many signatures from citizens against the bear hunt, many thousands of signatures. I'm not sure what the total is now, but it's quite a few. And also thousands of emails have been sent opposing the bear hunt, and 98% of those are opposing the bear hunt, and only maybe 2% or so were for it. Another point I'd like to make is the idea that to protect the bear population, that they must be slaughtered, seems rather ludicrous to me. Bear habitat is continuously being reduced and degraded by increasing human development and by fire and drought. The process has led to more instances of nuisance bears and a likely decrease in wildland bear populations. Also, bears to be hunted would most likely cause further reduction in the wildland bear population and a corresponding increase in nuisance bear incidents. There are non-lethal methods for controlling the bear population. Among them, of course, are relocation to suitable habitats that could support a larger bear population. This would seem to be a viable, non-violent solution for nuisance bears. And the last point was that the estimated size of the bear population in Nevada, to me, is highly suspect. Of course, this has all been discussed today. Seems to me,
Wrap it up.
Okay. While the formula for estimation of animal populations is apparently a valid one, the data used to provide the estimate for bear population and growth rate is questionable.
Okay, that's,
Is that it?
yeah, that's it. I'll let you go longer. Okay. You can submit your paper if you've got a written document that you'd like to submit to the record. We'll,
John Reed is next.
how is the commission doing? I was thinking maybe at noon, breaking, we need to do a short break right now, or is everybody good to go? Okay, we'll keep moving.
John Reed.
John Reed had to leave.
Okay, thank you. Terry Melvin.
My name's Terry Melby. I'm a local resident, local sportsman, and a director for the Northern Nevada chapter of the International. Just wanted to reinforce the fact we are in support of the adoption of the permanent regulation for the bear hunt.
Okay, thank you.
Don Gann.
My name's Dawn Gann. I've lived in Nevada for 14 years. I've lived in Nevada for 15 years. I'm from Wyoming, and I've known people from both states have a lot in common. We live in a beautiful, wide open state without a lot of people to fill it up. We are independent and appreciate our solitude. Our way of life isn't very well understood by those who live in the cities, even cities in our own states. I have known a number of hunters in my lifetime, including members of my family. They respect the land and they care for the animals they hunt. The reason is not to retrieve a handsome trophy for your wall, as some would lead you to believe. It is solely to provide food for your family. I've never known anyone who has hunted for that purpose alone. If there are people like that, they aren't the people who live in and around the areas I am from. In an ideal world, there would be plenty of room for all the wild animals to live. In our world, their areas are shrinking and being replaced with houses and shopping malls. To me, it makes sense to allow people to purchase a license to hunt animals and keep the numbers in check. The money generated by hunting and fishing helps wildlife management manage and keep the population properly. I feel that when these people say that their population is high, that they should be taken seriously. This is what they do for a living. We were able to retrieve a bear, and we went to the class, the bear indoctrination class, and it was interesting and informative. They helped the hunt a great deal. Where they were hunting, they said that they saw a lot of track, and they feel that the numbers really are high, that they're not that low. We packed the meat out. It's really good. We're not going to waste anything, and I guess that's about it.
Thank you.
Holy Calling.
Okay, Holly, because you were with the Humane Society, you have 6 minutes.
Okay, I probably won't use all 6 minutes, but thank you. My name is Holly Haley, Nevada State Director of the Humane Society of the United States. Excuse me. I represent over 105,000 of our members and supporters.
Hear you speaking.
Sorry. The HSUS remains opposed to the trophy hunt of black bears in Nevada. This hunt is proceeding in the face of tremendous public opposition. A 2011 poll of Nevada voters by Mason-Dixon Polling and Research revealed that voters strongly agree by 74 to 20% that the state should prioritize non-lethal methods of solving conflicts between people and bears. As the Commission might once again vote to continue with bear hunting in Nevada, please consider these additional comments related to permanently adopting regulations related to spring bear hunting, hounding, baiting, and the trade in bear parks. The use of dogs to pursue bears is highly controversial among hunters and non-hunters alike. The manner of pursuit violates bear chase principles. Dogs also run down and harm non-target wildlife. Furthermore, hounding leads to trespassing concerns and intense conflicts with property owners and others using the woods like hikers and other hunters. The proposed regulations do not prohibit the possibility of a spring bear hunt in the future. Although a regulation prohibiting killing a cub or a sow with cubs is admirable, studies are clear that these regulations do not prevent orphaning of cubs. Bears often leave cubs alone from time to time, and even experienced hunters wishing to avoid killing a bear with cubs cannot reliably identify a lactating sow at any distance. The HSUS supports the regulation prohibiting bear baiting of bears. Finally, the HSUS strongly supports the portion of the rule prohibiting the trade in the state and out of state of bear gall bladders. Thank you. And we strongly encourage the Commission to expand this portion of the regulations to include bear paws, the trade in which can also fuel bear poaching due to market demand for paws and particularly overseas. Thank you. Please stop hearing my comment.
Okay, thank you. And just a quick response. I just recently saw the bear paw issue, and so I think that's a good thing to add to the regulation. I don't know if we can do it right now as part of this regulation, but we'll definitely have that on the list for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Smith.
Thank you, Chairman Macbeth. For the record, my name is Mike Smith. I'm a Sereno. I first got involved in this issue, and it was kind of
We
made
can't
fun of
hear
my-
You're a true booker.
Is that better? Is that better? Yes. I first got involved in this issue from the safety standpoint. Found out the hunt zones were going to be in the Tahoe Meadows area, and as most of you know, 100,000 people a year will use the Tahoe Trail, especially in the northern zone, or the northern end. Of course, the science now is a big question. I have requested information from Mr. Lackey. I did have an opportunity to chat with him today, and I appreciate his inputs. And certainly, the information he provided today, I think it would have been more beneficial to give that information earlier when the hunt was considered. That way, people have an opportunity to review it, digest it. I mean, I've got to go home now and try to. Some of those questions were answered, some were not. I have an issue with the bear populations versus the wild bear versus the urban bear. And prior studies have shown that once the bear goes urban, it stays urban 90% of the time. Carl seems to think that number might be off a little now. Stuff we need to think about going forward. Where else want to go today? I do think, I really still don't see a compelling reason for this hunt. I think anytime you're hunting any species where it's difficult to determine male and female, we really have to consider it and think of other alternatives to deal with our problems, preferably non-lethal ways, especially with the urban bear problems. The funding for that program was suspended in 2008, which does show, I think, there's a correlation between the increased problems that we have now. There's so many people out there that just have no idea how to deal with garbage and trash, and in my area, I know I've taken it. I'm going to make it an issue there, and I hope to do it in Washoe County as well. The regulations here are very, very weak. We might as well not even have it in Washoe County, the way it's set up. But I do ask that you take your time with this. I certainly appreciate the time you all spend making these decisions. They're very hard decisions. I'm finding that out as I get more and more involved. But please consider, I know the regulation's different than the hunt, but please take everything into consideration when you make your decision tomorrow and certainly going forward. And I do ask that we try to work together going forward with these bear issues and all of it that's involved, and not just the fact that we're trying to. I understand you've got hunters that will be upset if you've got those folks to take care of. And I do want to add too, I've lived in 3 different areas in the country. I've lived in the Northeast, the Southeast, and the West. I've hunted in the Northeast and the Southeast, so I do have some perspective as to how things are done in other states. I'm not here to take away anybody's right to hunt or take away their guns, and I think that's a misconception a lot of times when people have concerns about the black bear. This is about the black bear and the Nevada black bear, not the California black bear. Thank you.
I do want to mention that the issue of congested areas in the Tahoe area, or anywhere for that matter, is going to be something that I think we're also going to be looking at. And then the issue of urban bears, we're going to see what this commission can do. We're going to start exploring those areas too, because one of the things that was really good about everybody ramping up on the science is that I was very disturbed in the number of urban bears that are being killed needlessly, it looks like. So I think that probably everybody's on the same page on that issue. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Christine Schwalberger.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Catherine.
You were going 6 minutes or 3 minutes?
No,
Okay,
no,
3.
I'm not the 6-minute one. Catherine Bricker will take our 6 minutes. I'm here for No Bear Hunt Nevada. Chris Schwamberger for the record. I think the simple issue here, and there are many, and only 3 minutes to address Mr. Lackey's at least 1 hour presentation. I think Mr. Lackey's credibility would be infinitely enhanced if he would stop advocating hunting. That is not his job. He is a biologist, and therefore NDOW and this commission suffers severe credibility problems because of that. Mr. Lackey goes on about the data collection. We do not question necessarily the validity of the data. We question the modeling, the interpretation, and the analysis of that data. And others will speak to that, but Mr. Lackey has not proven to us that there is a 16% increase in bears. We are asking, and you'll be hearing this again, for an independent review of this analysis because of the credibility problems. And it sounds to me like we're hunting to study and we're studying to hunt the bears. And it also sounds like we're drowning in California bears. That's not the case because the habitat is limited, and California sets its hunting regulations based on its population. If you start setting regulations based on their bears, then those bears are being doubly hunted, and I think California would object to that. We have submitted our position paper to the Commission, supported by Dr. Beckman's dissertation, a case study co-authored by Dr. Beckman and Mr. Lackey, Dr. Tavis's report on nuisance bears. I've only heard one small comment about the issue that is repeated in these papers, and I'm going to submit all these supporting documents for the record, along with our position paper, that looks to like it got a lot of attention. But this Commission is not addressing the serious habitat degradation issues that are raised in those papers, and which is the root cause of the nuisance bear problem. And that is, your job is not just hunting, members. You are not a hunting commission, you are a wildlife commission. The current hunt was based, and those previous population numbers that Mr. Lackey now refutes were presented as the basis for this current hunt as being set in stone. I'm seeing a lot of backpedaling by Mr. Lackey on those population, as well as Dr. Beckman, it seems. Therefore, it has not been proven that there's a 16% increase. This nuisance bear problem is depopulating the wildland bears, and this hunt poses a serious threat to those bears. And we ask for an independent review of those numbers because you have no credibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Paul Downs. And on your card, you listed President of Nevada Houndsman Association.
Good morning. For the record, I'm Paul Downs, I'm President of the Nevada Houndsman Association. The NHA was created in 2009 in order to give houndsmen a voice in our state. It serves to educate, protect, and promote the responsible use of hounds for hunting and game management. The association currently has 47 members and gaming. As an organization, the NHA supports this bear hunt in Nevada for several reasons. We believe the Nevada Division of Wildlife has used sound science concerning bear populations with at least 15 years of data to support the initiation of the hunt. The issues that urban bears are facing with problem bears are a direct result of human expansion into bear habitat. The Reno-Carson-Tahoe area has experienced a large increase in development in the past 10 years, at least 80,000 people. This consumption of bear habitat, coupled with an increasing bear population, results in more and more dangerous bear-human encounters. The Nevada Houndsmen believe that with the use of hounds in the bear hunt, the bears will learn to fear humans, thus being educated to stay away from residential areas. This bear education could be enhanced with the creation of a pursuit-only season. This is hunting season where bears are only pursued and no harvest is allowed. In our research, we found a study by the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife in 2007, which I have a copy of. I'll submit to you guys. And it shows the number of bear-human conflicts are dramatically lower in the areas that allow hound hunting. Idaho and Montana are a great comparison. Montana has around 16,500 bears and does not allow hunting with hounds, while Idaho has 20,000 bears and does allow hound hunting. Montana has about 4 complaints per 10,000 people, where Idaho has less than 1 complaint per 10,000 people. Another misconception by many that bears are harmed by the use of hounds is one we would like to change. The responsible employment of well-trained hounds is the most effective management and hunting method available. Hunters with hounds can selectively harvest a bear after information about the bear, such as age, sex, and size, are considered. A bear that doesn't meet NDOW's requirements is easily released. Obviously, this is very difficult with other hunting methods. I believe most houndsmen would agree that treating a bear with hounds is all about the chase and the working of the dogs. Killing bears is secondary, since most houndsmen release the majority of the animals they treat. The freedom of enjoying the tradition of hunting with hounds or sport dogs is very important to the hunting public. The NHA would like to propose a pursuit-only season be added to the bear hunting agenda. We also encourage NDOW to continue research of bear populations in Nevada while considering the transplanting of bears to other regions of Nevada, which the maps showed were historical in Elko and White Pine County. Thank you for your time, and thank you for using science as a way to manage wildlife, not emotion.
Donald Drake.
Chairman, members of the board. I'm Don Drake, and I live off Holcomb Ranch Road, and I've lived there for over 30 years. My family and I have raised 4-H sheep and enjoy living in a quiet country area. Yes, we have bears in our area, but I will never complain about bears coming to raid our fruit trees, tip over our garbage cans, or scatter trash. I will never complain because I don't want to be required to purchase bear-proof garbage can. City people come to our area and dump unwanted pets. This is a real problem. Abandoned pets attract coyotes. My plea to you city people is don't feed our coyotes. They are getting fat on our livestock as it is. Leaving your abandoned pets in our area is not a kind way to treat them or us. Some of us say that we are living in an area where wildlife used to roam. This is a correct statement. However, when the county requires 18-inch culverts along roads and at intersections, these culverts become dens for coyotes and bobcats right among our houses and in our neighborhoods. Raccoons are another problem. They carry rabies. I have some very graphic photos of unborn lamb parts scattered over my fields, scraps and skeletons left by packs of depredating coyotes. Last winter, I lost 4 pregnant ewes to coyotes. My son and I share sheep and talk to many sheep owners. There were 3 families off Foothill Drive that lost a total of 12 sheep last winter. We live in a congested area. I can only use firearms to protect our property against the 2-legged coyotes that come on the ground, not the 4-legged. When you outlaw suburban trapping,
Excuse me for a second. This agenda item is on the black bear
Yes.
regulation, and so what is the relevance of the coyotes? Just
trapping in bears are a problem in my area. It's all a problem.
Okay, go ahead.
When you outlaw suburban trapping, you tie our hands. Animal control comes out to cite us for barking dogs. Our dogs bark to keep coyotes away and mountain lions away. Please don't ban trapping. Thank you.
My point was the next agenda item is trapping and
Yes, I realize that.
Okay.
Okay, I have Scott Karen. And you did mark what agenda item, I'm assuming, Bear?
Correct, sir.
Okay, thank you.
For the record, Scott Grone, Northern Nevada Chapter President, International. I just wanted to take a brief moment to say thank you, Commissioner McBeth, and the rest of the board. We'd like to take a stance on this and say that we are in favor of the bear hunt. We reviewed the science of Carl Lackey and the Endow. We think it's pretty much spot on, and we'd like to also state that permanent regulation for a bear hunt is not a bear hunt every year. That means the board can manage them just like any other Northern Nevada big game animal, where you would hunt them in conjunction with all the regulations we have in place today. That's all I got right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Hayes.
Yes, I'm Mark Hayes, Reno, Nevada, and I'm here to represent the spiritual bear that is a friend in our forest. They live on a parallel dimension with us. They don't kill bears in heaven. They relate with them, and they are a very important part of our spiritual equation. And it has to be noted that that chart they showed shows how few bears there are now. I wonder how many people now exist in that chart, be total blacked out or not. So the bears are declining, and the people are swelling in population. The bears belong to the city too, not just rural residents and game officials who have more of a chance of seeing them. People that work hard finally get a chance to come up to Lake Tahoe or go on vacation. Their chance of seeing a bear is very, very slim, and a beautiful sight that it is. Where do the bears get a break in this human equation? I saw an ad promoting dumpsters for proofing against bears. A proud bear standing over the dumpster, and I could see in his face that his dignity had just been shattered. You can feed, thousands and thousands of people in an emergency situation. Why can't you figure some way to take care of a couple hundred or a few hundred bears, by planting more berries in their area, restricting the hunting and fishing in certain areas, devise a habitat for them. The world is changing. Generations have the security of wrapping their children, have had the security of wrapping their little bodies around a bear for protection at night to see them through hard times. I think now is a time that we have to give back some of that security and the peace and the safety back to the bears. I mean, the population equation is just overwhelming. The building is overwhelming. It's time we looked at the bears. It's a different world. I like the fact that we can all be hunters and enjoy that, but the bear is not a prey. It is a predator. It is of the nature of a friend in the forest who has similar qualities to us. It likes to hunt, it likes to pick berries, it sleeps all winter long, especially in Nevada, with all the snow here. I think Nevada should be proud that it is a buffer zone for the bears with all the killing of bears in California. It should be proud of that. The Montana hunter that just recently lost his life hunting a bear, he was from Montana, from Winnemucca, but he was hunting in Idaho, Montana. And they accidentally shot a grizzly. It took 6 shots to finally take it down. It killed the hunter. I'm sorry for the hunter, but I can't help but feel equally sorry for the bear, too.
Okay, Mr. Cohen, that's it. Thank you. Cut it off there. You submit your document.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ann Bryant. Fairleigh, Executive Director, Fairleigh.
Yes, I'm Ann Bryan with the Bear League. I represent 1,500 members, 486 of whom live in Nevada, but I don't need 3 minutes, or 6 minutes, excuse me. Thank you for, again, for listening to us. First of all, I know full well that anyone who's here to speak in opposition to the hunt will be pretty much ignored by the commission, especially someone like me from California. I take a great deal of offense to this, and I'd like to explain why. At the commission meetings held here last December, when discussions were underway prior to voting on the obviously predetermined hunt, mention was made by several commissioners as well as the endowed biologist that although the bear population in Nevada was admittedly very small, no one need to worry about killing several of these animals because bears eliminated in this hunt would eventually be replaced by California bears. We already have a bear hunt in California. Even though many of us are not proud of that fact, we do admit our hunt can be supported by an extremely healthy bear population, which numbers roughly 25 to 30,000 animals. You probably only have 200 to 300 bears in all of Nevada, and therefore you need to understand why your neighbors in California have lost all respect for a commission who justifies a killing spree that is so obviously dependent on luring bears from across the state line, as was stated numerous times on record by you yourselves as well as by your biologist. This is extremely disturbing. However, it is very encouraging to see several new members on this commission. It gives us hope that this organization will now finally step up and at last be recognized as a respectable steward of Nevada's wildlife. It will be commendable if you can proudly stand beside California's honorable Fish and Game Commission and state honestly that you also paid attention to sound science and immense public input rather than basing your decisions on your own personal desires and on one man's faulty interpretations of data and his own self-serving opinions. For now, I'm proud to live and be fairly governed in California, but I sincerely wish you the best of luck for the sake of your conscience and the citizens and wildlife who depend on you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy Lossie.
I'm Tracy Losey. I'm here representing the Bear League and myself as an individual. And I'm opposed to the bear hunt. I don't think that the numbers support it. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Faye Epstein. Epstein.
Somebody said that she left.
Diane Blankenberg. Oh, that's 5 and 6. Are you here for 6 and 5?
No, I meant 6.
6, okay. Catherine Bricker.
I have a copy of the submission to each commissioner. Would you like me to give that to you? Okay. It's both the resume of Dr. Cannon referring to in his study.
Thank you.
Commissioner Robb, I'm taking this.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I haven't started yet. Thank you. I'll let you know. Commissioners, my name is Catherine Bricker, and I'm representing No Bear Hunt Nevada. We request that you do not pass the bear hunt into permanent regulation. One of the tenets of sound science is that conclusions are put through a process of independent peer review. No Bear Hunt Nevada submitted all the background materials available from the Department of Wildlife to current date to 3 separate groups of wildlife biologists. Each group independently and unanimously agreed that the analysis and interpretation of the data by the department was flawed and that hunting Nevada's black bears was not advised. I would like to read you excerpts from one of those opinions from Dr. Rick Hopkins, who has a PhD in wildlands resource science from the University of California, Berkeley. Dr. Hopkins is a nationally recognized wildlife ecologist whose training and research have focused on population ecology, particularly mammalian carnivores. Dr. Hopkins states, I have reviewed the proposed black bear hunt regulations and all of the background materials you have received from the Nevada Department of Wildlife. These are all listed then. Based on this review, it is my professional opinion that the Nevada Department of Wildlife fails to prove the detailed information about the unpublished population estimate as noted in the black bear population assessment methodology and data analysis in Nevada, published in 2011. And what information it does provide, it greatly exceeds the inference space of the available data and estimates. And the analysis fails to incorporate the spatial and social complexity that truly represents the majority of the black bear population in Nevada. The summary of the unpublished data analysis also concluded that the rate of population increase was estimated to be approximately 16% annually. The modeled 16% rate of annual increase is simply unremarkable, as short-term fluctuations in bear populations are common. In no way should one assume that the rate of increase would remain positive. In summary, INDOW has provided absolutely no information that would lead one to believe that bear populations have increased in the core of Nevada in the last decade. Harvesting small populations is inherently risky, particularly given the uncertainty in the current population estimates or normal population fluctuations, and the lack of integration of the unique population dynamics, such as the spatial complexity of this population into the proposed rule. The uncertainty around these factors has not been suitably integrated and does not follow the precautionary rule that should govern management decisions related to small populations. That's the end of Dr. Hopkins' statement. Commissioner Schrum, I was told a year ago by then Commissioner Macbeth that you were my public representative, and I'm really counting on you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and break for lunch, so we're going to recess. Does Mr. Director, does an hour sound okay, or should we shorten it up, maybe 45 minutes? Or, okay, we're going to go 45 minutes, and so let's, and then we'll continue public comment. So this is a recess. We'll continue public comment when we get back, and let's call it at 12:50, a little over 45 minutes.